trying to get at Miss G.
Yeah, but if it had anything to do with me, I would hear you out.
Miss Leaks is the one. I'm the one that everybody want to fire at, right? I got to be the one. I got to get all y'all in an uproar.
I can set my gun
I am
down.
that bitch,
I'm
honey.
good.
I'm that.
Nene Leakes, the TV star who turned clapbacks into an art form and controversy into a career. On screen, she was loud, bold, and unforgettable. But off screen, her story is far darker. Behind the one-liners and flashy lifestyle is a trail of lawsuits, fights, and shady moves that cost her friends, business partners, and eventually her own reputation.
She needs to fix her lying tongue first. Portia is a angry bitch. She don't f***ing act like Candy on drugs and want to eat her pussy.
Oh.
She was tied up in the whole lie with Phaedra. When the heat got hot, she threw Phaedra under the bus and jumped off the damn bus to save her own ass. She's gonna get pinned up against the wall with Nene Leakes. You're a freshman, bitch. Remember that.
And you're a grad student, double time.
A lot of us are your elders. Respect your elders.
2003,
Respect
sweetheart.
your elders.
You didn't have a
Respect
camera in
your
2004,
elders.
sweetheart.
You're done. Go back to LA and lick the bottom.
All right.
You were out there
Okay,
licking bottoms
moving on.
to stay
Are those the
on
ones
top,
that sent you to
honey.
the outskirts
You were
of
licking
Atlanta?
bottoms to stay on.
In this story, we're pulling back the curtain. We'll dig into the public records, the feuds, the lawsuits, and the battles with networks to show the true cost of her choices. Expect courtroom filings, shocking arrests from the past, contract wars with Bravo, and a pattern that proves her downfall wasn't an accident. It was years in the making.
Why you going? Nene!
Girl, if you hit my window, I'll you up.
Why
Don't do
you
that.
leaving me?
This is not my life. I don't do that, okay? I've been there, done that. This is not I'm not doing that with anybody.
It's bully here!
I'm sitting your mother.
Okay, now you're doing the most.
Stick this up your driveway.
Y'all two are.
Actually, in Greece, it's a good thing to be spit on. We're in Greece. She should want all these popcorn seeds. Just good luck. I spit in your motherfucking face, bitch. Your marriage would probably survive. Mark is twirling right on out of the marriage. Him and his nose ring. Bye, Mark.
Even for Marlo?
Girl, you done
I
had
just
too
don't
many
want it to
drinks.
be
Bye.
about Kenya. I want it to be about Marlo.
Not believe what her explanation is here.
I need to believe her explanation. Do I need to do that?
I'm asking you.
I'm telling you that I don't. You asked me that
Okay,
already, and
so
I told you
you're
that I
saying you
didn't
don't.
believe what
Okay,
I said,
okay, hold on. So you don't believe her?
No. We're good. I'm not mad with you.
Keep pushing
I
because
told
it doesn't seem like
don't
you're
worry
really
about
good.
pushing. What I said is what I meant.
Nene Leakes wasn't born a star, but when she hit Bravo's Real Housewives of Atlanta in 2008, she redefined what reality TV could look like. With her big laugh, bigger attitude, and quick-witted comebacks, she became the face of the franchise almost overnight. She didn't just play the game, she dominated it. She was the breakout housewife producers dream about, the one who could carry an entire season with her personality alone. But that image wasn't just entertainment, she turned it into a business. She branded herself as the realest housewife, the no-nonsense truth teller, the woman who said what everyone else was afraid to say. That persona sold merchandise, brought her spin-off opportunities, and even got her acting jobs in shows like Glee and The New Normal. Fame was the golden ticket, and she knew how to cash it in. Yet, as her stardom grew, something else was happening in the shadows. The bigger her brand became, the easier it was for old mistakes and shady behavior to get covered up, at least for a while. Before she became the queen of reality TV, her past was already messy. Court records show that back in the 1990s, long before Bravo cameras rolled, she was arrested multiple times. Reports tied her to theft charges, shoplifting, and even mugshots that would later resurface when her fame exploded. It was a reminder that beneath the glamorous exterior, her story had cracks from the start. Nene has publicly admitted to at least one of these arrests, brushing it off as a youthful mistake. But here's the shady truth. When your rise to fame is built on telling it like it is, hiding or minimizing a criminal past feels less like honesty and more like strategy. The irony? The woman who branded herself as transparent and blunt wasn't exactly sharing everything with her fans. And while plenty of stars have checkered pasts, what makes her different is the pattern. Those early legal troubles weren't just an isolated stumble, they were the first glimpse of a recurring theme, bending rules, avoiding accountability, and hoping charm would erase the consequences. She didn't just argue on Real Housewives of Atlanta, she weaponized her words. From the start, she thrived on confrontation, and many of her most famous moments weren't funny clapbacks, but cruel and cutting takedowns of her co-stars. Whether it was calling Kim Zolciak trashy, telling Cynthia Bailey she was disposable, or clashing with Kenya Moore in screaming matches, she consistently went beyond playful shade. Her fights were deeply personal, often humiliating the other women in ways that made reconciliation nearly impossible. What fans laughed at in memes was pure chaos behind the scenes. Castmates reported toxic set environments, constant tension, and the exhausting reality of filming with someone who treated every slight as a war. What should have been professional relationships became battlegrounds, with her at the center of it all. And this wasn't a one-time slip of the tongue, the pattern was undeniable. Season after season, she escalated her aggression, leaving broken friendships and fractured alliances in her wake. For viewers, it was entertaining. For her colleagues, it was misery. The shady truth? She didn't just keep it real, she kept it toxic, and the damage added up.
I've been tormented for the last 2 months. It was just an illegal eviction.
Surely I couldn't believe that she was homeless, not the person who has all these DVDs and producing everything all over the world. And you're a top actress, honey. Surely you are not homeless. I try to remain a lady. Black King, I got to pee. You want me to pee in your glass?
Listen to me. As a grown woman, I make my decisions. No bitch that with any friend that I have will never tell me who I can and cannot talk to. You know what? When I get ready to have an event, I'm not going to be thinking about whether King is going to be uncomfortable or not. When I have my event, I'm going to be worried about how fabulous Nene event's going to be. I'm so tired of having to get King together, getting on my nerves.
If she's on-screen fights made her famous, her off-screen battles nearly destroyed her career. By the mid-2010s, Nene had become one of Bravo's highest-paid housewives, but instead of quietly securing her position, she turned contract negotiations into public warfare. Headlines filled with stories of her demanding more money, refusing to film unless her terms were met, and using her fan base as leverage in a high-stakes game of chicken with Bravo. Her strategy was simple: go public, stir up drama, and pressure the network into paying her top dollar. But while it may have worked in the short term, it came at a heavy price. Each standoff burned more bridges behind the scenes. Executives grew tired of the spectacle, fellow housewives resented her diva behavior, and the once golden relationship between her and Bravo started to crack. When her eventual exit from the show came, it wasn't a graceful goodbye. It was messy, loud, and drenched in bad blood. She didn't just walk away from the show that made her, she set fire to the bridge on the way out, ensuring that a comeback would always be complicated. In 2022, she escalated her drama from reality TV sets to a courtroom. She filed a lawsuit against Bravo, NBC Universal, and production companies, alleging that she endured a hostile and racially discriminatory work environment on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She claimed that her complaints about racially insensitive remarks were ignored and that she was effectively blacklisted after she spoke up. The lawsuit painted her not as the villain, but as the victim, a bold narrative flip for someone long seen as the aggressor. But the public filing quickly turned into a media circus. Headlines ran with her allegations, but behind the scenes, the case never seemed airtight. By August 2022, the lawsuit was dismissed, and by 2023, reports suggested a quiet settlement. No trial, no dramatic victory, just paperwork fading out of the spotlight. For many, the optics spoke louder than the documents. It looked less like a righteous fight for justice and more like a desperate bid to claw back relevance and money.
Well, this is breaking news. Nene Leakes, formerly of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, has dismissed her discrimination lawsuit, which was against Andy Cohen, other executives, Bravo, NBC Universal, and True Entertainment. So according to multiple media outlets, they're confirming, according to court documents, Nene Leakes has dismissed her discrimination lawsuit, where she was accusing Bravo of pretty much supporting discriminatory behavior at the network for years. Well, according to court documents, Nene is dropping this lawsuit without prejudice, which means she can end up suing Bravo again.
In the end, the lawsuit revealed less about Bravo and more about her. It showed a willingness to wage very public, very messy wars, even if it risked her reputation. And when it fizzled out, it left behind more questions about her motives than answers about discrimination. Like many housewives, she tried to spin TV fame into business empires. There was her boutique, swag, clothing lines, comedy tours, endorsements, and later, lounge ventures. At first, fans saw it as proof of her hustle, but soon the cracks showed. Rumors of unpaid vendors, staff turnover, and partnerships that soured started to circulate. The flashy announcements rarely matched the follow-through. Her Las Vegas lounge, the Linethea, grabbed headlines in 2021 but was quickly plagued with whispers of mismanagement and shaky finances. Fashion ventures fizzled, endorsements didn't stick, even her comedy tours drew criticism for uneven performances and logistical hiccups. The image of a savvy mogul kept colliding with the reality of sloppy execution. For fans watching from the outside, the pattern was familiar. She often started strong, but consistency and professionalism seemed to slip through her fingers. Business wasn't just about ambition, it was about discipline, and discipline was never her strong suit. If Nene fights on Bravo were bad, her fights online were worse. Social media became her battleground, and she wielded Instagram and Twitter like weapons. She called out co-stars, slammed producers, and threw shade at anyone who crossed her. Every feud that once stayed in reunion chairs now played out in real time for millions to see. But instead of winning sympathy, the constant negativity started to backfire. Fans grew tired of the never-ending grievances, the cryptic posts, and the scorched earth call-outs. Employers and networks, already cautious about her reputation, saw proof that she was unpredictable and difficult to manage. Every Instagram rant wasn't just shade, it was career suicide in slow motion. Every shady move carries a price, and for her, the bill eventually came due. While she won headlines with her feuds, lawsuits, and shade, the fallout hit her where it hurt most, her career. Brand deals dried up. Networks grew wary of working with someone known more for conflict than consistency. Even when she made surprise appearances on shows like The Real or The Masked Singer, they felt like short-term stunts, not a sustainable path forward. Her public disputes with Bravo and Andy Cohen didn't just end her tenure on Real Housewives of Atlanta. They also sent a signal to the entire reality TV industry. She was high risk. In Hollywood, reputation is currency, and a reputation for volatility, lawsuits, and social media meltdowns made her a liability. What followed was a pattern of short-term wins and long-term losses. A lawsuit settlement here, a viral headline there, but no stable bookings, no major brand partnerships. No return to Bravo. The shady truth is that her career became a case study in how burning bridges can feel powerful in the moment, but it leaves you stranded when the smoke clears. Her actions didn't just affect her, they left scars on the people around her. Castmates like Kenya Moore, Cynthia Bailey, and Candy Burris openly spoke about the toxicity of working with her. Crew members whispered about difficult shoot environments, last-minute walk-offs, and tension on set. For many, filming with her meant bracing for conflict, not camaraderie. The collateral damage extended off-camera, too. Business partners tied to her short-lived ventures often ended up dealing with financial losses or reputational fallout when things collapsed. Family members were dragged into headlines, sometimes unwillingly. Even her late husband, Greg Leakes, admired by fans for his calm and grounding presence, was often caught in the storm of her feuds and public battles. The ripple effect was clear. Nene's volatility created chaos for everyone in her orbit. The glamour of reality TV may have given her a platform, but the shade she cast often left others standing in the dark. In the end, her legacy wasn't just about what she built, it was also about what, and who, she damaged along the way. After burning so many bridges, she tried to circle back. Interviews where she softened her image, social media posts filled with carefully worded apologies, and public calls for reconciliation with Bravo. But to many critics, these comeback attempts rang hollow. The timing, often after lawsuits, scandals, or new projects launching, made them look more like PR strategies than heartfelt reflection. She went on YouTube interviews claiming she was open to talks with Bravo. She posted cryptic tweets about forgiveness. Yet behind those gestures, fans still remembered the lawsuits, the shade, the contract wars, and the endless feuds. Sincerity and strategy blurred together, and the industry didn't bite. She had been reality TV gold once, but by the time she asked for a seat back at the table, the networks had already moved on. Nene downfall isn't just about one star, it's about the entire reality TV machine. Networks like Bravo thrive on conflict. They film the fights, air the meltdowns, and replay the shadiest moments for ratings. Viewers laugh, tweet, and share memes. But behind the entertainment is a system that normalizes toxicity and rewards manipulation. She leaned into that system, but also became one of its casualties. Her story is a cautionary tale. The more outrageous the behavior, the more the cameras roll. But when the damage becomes too real, lawsuits, fractured relationships, reputations shattered, the same system quietly moves on to the next breakout star. Her saga reveals the dark bargain of reality fame. You give your personality, your privacy, your peace of mind, and in return, you get fame, but not forever. At the end of the day, she was undeniably charismatic, a larger-than-life figure who made reality TV unforgettable. But charisma can't erase a record of shady choices, legal troubles, aggressive feuds, contract theatrics, and business missteps. What once made her magnetic eventually made her toxic. Her story is less about a single downfall and more about a pattern that caught up to her. If you followed her saga, don't just rely on headlines. Check the court filings, the contracts, the direct interviews. Look at the pattern for yourself. Reality TV thrives on spectacle, but accountability is what turns scandals into lessons. What do you think? Should she be given another chance? Or has her shady truth finally caught up with her for good?